Royals 7, Mets 2, bottom of the 12th inning. The Royals are 1 strike away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Davis comes to the plate. Strike 3 call! It's over! They've done it! The Royals are World Series champions. The World Champions.
Welcome to Sportsball.
It's exactly like we predicted.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We wanted to do a special little treat for our special guest today. Shannon McCormick is joining us here on Sportsball. I'm your host, as always, Tyler Coe, joined by...
I'm Jack Patillo.
Just wanted to show you that again one more time.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting.
We got Cole back there, too.
Yeah.
At some
And
point.
Cole as
He's
well.
going to be in a window at
It's
some
that guy.
point.
He's going to show up down there.
There he is.
Hey.
All right, everybody, welcome to...
I love we have our Pirates damaged water cooler there.
We had to protect him, and so we brought him here as fast as we could because we do not support that. All right.
Not on this show.
Welcome to Sportsball, guys. Very excited to have you on.
Thank you.
We have sponsors for the show today. We have Harry's and Audible. Very excited about that. And as always, you can call and text into the show.
The number should be down here at some point.
And one of these days, I'm going to remember it, Jack.
Down here at some point. I'm just going to keep pointing
I
until
know
there it
it's
is.
832-930-0896.
That's
You can
832
call or
Sportsball. Just call 832 Sportsball.
Exactly.
I don't think that's actually what
No,
it
it's
is,
not.
but-
I think we were looking for that, or I wanted to get like something
Really?
like balls. Like
1-800
1-800-BALLS.
So you can also tweet
But
in,
with a Z.
tweet in Sportsball or hashtag Sportsball, and we're keeping an eye on that as well.
Yes. So the reason why you are here today, Shannon, is because we can't tell folks.
I am a Kansas City Royals fan.
Yes, you
Die
are.
hard.
And we've been talking kind of throughout the
Yeah,
series.
a little bit.
And we wanted to get you on the show if they were going to win. And I mean, you knew the whole time that this was going to happen, didn't you?
I had a feeling. I had a good feeling, and I was glad that you were like, "Hey, come in. You know, it's on Tuesday. Come in on Tuesday. Worst case scenario, they're up
Game 6.
Game
Right,
6.
right.
They're up 3-2, looking to maybe close it out. But I had a feeling they were going to do it in New York.
And I mean, you were right. I mean, it was insane. Like, we're talking about Game 6 because we all thought that Game 6 was going to happen. For most of us, Game 5 was about Matt Harvey. For pretty much 8 innings.
I
I mean,
Crap. No
eight
kidding,
innings.
man.
The Dark Knight was hosing you guys. I mean, unhittable. It was unbelievable.
Yep.
It was watching him. It was like Mozart.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
He was fantastic. I
And
mean,
so-
he's a great pitcher.
So for me, like, I wasn't really paying attention to the game. Like, I was flipping back and forth, and I was on Twitter. I'm like, Matt Harvey dominant. Like, no, this is going to Game 6.
Right.
And then comes the 9th inning.
Yes.
And just to like set this up, folks, if you didn't see it, Matt Harvey was pitching an unbelievable game, shutting out the Royals, and he asked to go back in the 9th. And now a lot of people have made a big deal out of this. I don't really think it is one. Matt Harvey told manager Terry Collins, he's like, I'm going back into the 9th to close this thing out. Would any one of you have said no?
Oh, no.
He's not going back in.
And now, as a Royals fan, I did tweet as soon as I saw that exchange going on in the dugout, where the pitching coach had gone to Harvey and was like, "You're coming out."
Yeah.
He argues with the pitching coach. The pitching coach doesn't have the final say, so he's like, "Well, screw this," and he goes down and he talks to Collins, and is like, "No way am I coming out." I tweeted, I was like, "Okay, well let's make them question this decision for the rest of time."
Absolutely.
I was in a two run lead against the Royals late. I think it wasn't enough. Obviously,
No, it wasn't. But I mean,
not.
I don't think you were going to do anything differently. You had to keep Harvey in. But
and the crowd wanted it. And
Oh
the
my
thing,
God, yeah.
The only thing I think you could say is if the pitching coach and the manager saw something that we as casual fans don't see. If, you know, at the bottom of the 8th, I mean, he was cruising.
Right.
He looked great. But maybe they're like, he's losing a little bit. He's at 101 pitches. 4th time through the order. You got the heart of the order coming up.
Right.
Maybe they saw something, and and Colin said afterwards, he kind of threw himself, on the sword or whatever, and said, "Hey, it's my fault."
But what are you going to do? I mean, you feel bad for the guy. You have to roll with your ace, and you're not going to take a guy out when he's about to shut out a World Series game. And you talk about them knowing something. See how like devious your Royals are, because they had like a scouting report saying like going into the 9th, let's get the Mets into a situation where Duda could make a bad throw.
Right. Or
holy shit, that's exactly what happened. And Eric Hosmer scores on a pass ball.
If you can run on right, if you can run on Duda, make it happen.
Where the fuck are you guys?
I don't know, man.
That's like sinister right there.
Their scouting reports were on, and they did the same thing against the Blue Jays in the ALCS.
Yeah, it was
where they were
unbelievable.
like, if if Batista has to make a throw, he's going to throw to second base. So that's how Kane scored from first in that game.
It's unbelievable. This is America's team, I feel, right now. I mean, everybody fell in love with this team last year when you guys were in the playing game against the A's.
Yep.
You won that one in spectacular fashion.
Totally crazy game as well.
You go to the series, you lose to the Giants, which was a heartbreaker.
Yep.
And you pretty much went wire to wire this year. It's the first time since '85. I wasn't even born yet.
Wow.
The last time I am young.
You are young. I was in junior high when the Royals won the World Series.
Holy shit.
Oh, wow.
So
Awesome,
I have a handful of great sports memories. One of my faves is when they won Game 6 of the '85 World Series in that crazy, a lot of people blown call at first base. Dankinger calls what's his face? Who got the hit? Anyway, that guy. I'm blanking on who it was. Anyway,
Cole, figure that out.
Yes,
look it up right now.
Yeah, it's Dane Orge was the guy who got the game-winning RBI, but now I can't remember. Oh, George Orta. It was George Orta.
There we
got
go.
the hit. George Orta.
Internal stat man.
I got it.
Taking care.
Fired.
I got it.
Jesus.
Anyway, though, like that game when they won Game 6 to come back and stave off elimination, just running around my house like crazy, 14 years old. So this team.
You've waited a long time.
I've waited a long time.
Now, do you remember a player, and Jack, I don't know if you saw this, but this was kind of my big takeaway. I'm watching this celebration. It's really cool after you guys just blow the doors open in the 12th inning.
12th inning,
You guys have a first base coach.
Rusty Kuntz.
Is it Kuntz or Kuntz?
Well, so.
Because I'm watching the game, and I'm like, wait a second. What is this guy's name?
His name is Rusty.
It's Rusty, and I'm like, that can't be fucking real.
It's Rusty Kuntz. Everybody says it's a little bit like the planet Uranus. Like everybody says Uranus to be delicate.
All right,
I
mean, come on, Shannon. If you saw that
he's a kindly gentleman. He's a nice grandson.
He's a nice guy.
Right there.
Apparently, one of the
Kuntz.
smartest, savviest baseball guys in the game. Nice dude. High squeaky voice. His like catchphrase is like, "Yeah, player." Whenever
a guy named Rusty Kuntz would have that line. Yeah, player.
Now, Shannon, you got to welcome you to the show. We already got a text in from Arizona saying, "Tell Shannon he's a piece of shit. He just knew they were going to win because they sent him to the future." Bullshit. There you go.
All right. Yeah,
so
that's a term of endearment though on the show. When
absolutely.
somebody tells
me I'm a term of fuck you.
That's clearly a fan who's been watching for a while.
And we're going to get to some voicemails later on where I almost think we need to do a segment called "Fuck You, Tyler," because I got a few this week, and it warms my heart when I get those. They only
nothing's better
strengthen me.
than pissing off a whole country or an audience or whatever.
Sports is hard. We were talking about it right before. It's just like sports can bring out some real animus in people.
Well, there's so much sports too. There's so many things to yell and scream about. That's the thing. It's like we only have about an hour a week, and there are how many thousands of different kinds of matches that happen on a weekly basis.
Moments and crazy things that we try and get to and squeeze into 1 hour.
I mean, we can spend a whole show just on the World Series, and it's just like,
and all of us are better at this than Harold Reynolds. So,
oh my God! Holy shit! I almost forgot. We had to get to that. That guy. Okay, he is the. I've never really liked Harold Reynolds back when he was calling College World Series. The guy doesn't have a clue. He's literally talking. He's doing the game with Joe Buck, announcing the game, and at one point. Everybody lost their collective minds because he's talking about the game. And remember, folks, the Mets are down 3-1 in this series.
Right.
And he's like, guys, I think the pressure really is on the Mets right here. It's not the Royals. I think the pressure's on the Mets. Like, no shit!
No, the best, like, really? Okay, so there's the best one, as it was slow rolling. So it was like, but towards the end of the game, he says, okay, this 2-1 pitch, this is the pitch of this at bat for me.
Yeah.
Because either it's going to be 3-1 or 2-2 or a hit or an out or whatever. I mean, he listed literally every possibility that could come from the pitch.
Joe Buck had nothing to say either. He sounded like, what's his name, Bubba and Forrest Gump.
He knows the game.
Strike
he knows
one.
the game. I think he just sometimes he just goes, And
he did, and I'm glad that the game ended the way it did, so he didn't have to keep going because he was already out.
Yeah,
he was out of material after the first inning.
He's done.
The Mets were feeling the pressure. Yeah, they kind of were.
They kind of were. It was an elimination game for them.
Yeah. Usually when it's an elimination game, you feel pressure.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sometimes.
A little bit. Yeah.
And then when you give up the lead in the ninth, so I digress. Anyways, let's call an audible real quick. And we got to talk about our college game day challenge because it was awesome. But, before I do, speaking of Audible, let's talk about Audible. Audible's awesome. You need to go check out audible.com to get all your books while you're driving or you're doing whatever, and you listen in your ears. It's great. What you need to do is go right there. You go to audible.com/Sportsball. That's the name of this show. And you can go download any of the 180,000 books that they have there. One of the books I want to get right now is Paddle Your Own Canoe. Okay. It's named Nick Offerman. Yeah, Ron Swanson. He's like my spirit animal. Yeah. He's hilarious. So, and I'm a road trip guy. I like taking road trips. So that's something I would want to do is get that. So go to audible.com, type in audible.com/sportsball. You get a free download. So you get a free book anytime you go to it using that, and enjoy your reading. Don't read or listen during this show though.
Hit pause, come back after we're done. About an hour from now.
Exactly. Nice. All right, so Shannon, one of the cool things we do on the show is I think Jack came up with this idea. I think it was your brainchild.
It was leveraging the power of our massive fan base on the internet and these amazing people. So College Game Day, right? It's a popular show on the ESPN's, the mothership.
On the ESPN.
And Saturday mornings they talk about college football before the games begin. And the big thing with these is people stand behind them with these signs, right?
The
big signs.
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? We've got a lot of fans out there. I wonder if we could get our dumb faces on there. And we have done it now, I think, 3 times, about 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, the first one we got you guys up at Clemson.
Yeah.
And then my face got up on Utah, which was really cool. And then we got
let's see, we got the logo up.
We got the logo up at the Michigan State game.
Nice.
And then this past week there was one week where it was like James Madison and some other fucking school. Can't remember.
That was the game day game?
Yeah, it was that.
Wow. They were scraping the bottom of the barrel.
And to stun you after that one, wait till you go to Temple, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So we didn't know if that was going to happen, but we asked to put up Cole's face, and lo and behold, they came through again. That's awesome.
What is game day?
What is game day? Which is great. And I think Joel's face is like somewhere in there as
well. Peeking around the corner there.
Which is really cool. So that got up, and then there was another one. There it is in the crowd, which is awesome.
Very nice.
Just really good.
Someone spent money to get that printed. Like someone went to Kinko's and paid
they did.
$100.
Yeah, that was good money on that. That
Cole,
piece of ephemera.
Cole, what'd you think about seeing your face up there on game day, man?
That was awesome.
All right, Cole. Yeah. Good commentary, guy. Cole.
He just like totally Major League does. Remember when Bob Uecker takes a break? He's like drunk. And he's like, his partner's like, fly ball and caught. Thank you, Cole. Appreciate that.
Just a bit outside.
Just a bit outside.
Thank you, Cole.
So also we had another guy. He put up a game day sign. He put on Sportsball Rooster Teeth.
Hey.
Not very creative.
That's one of the ones they give you there if you don't have a sign. You can if you bring a marker, you can make
game
one.
Day. Sportsball, Rooster Teeth.
There we go.
Sponsored by the paint company there. From
Home Depot. This show is also brought to you by Home Depot today.
Okay.
Do it. What is it? Do it yourself? No, that's Nike's just do it. What is the? Let's do it.
You can go your own way. No, that's a song.
That's a Fleetwood Mac song.
That's right. I don't know.
It's one of those. Is the motto for Home Depot?
You can do it. We can help.
Let's do this.
Is that
the
help?
No, it's I'm loving it. Right.
That's it. I'm loving it.
Yeah. So Temple.
Thank you, Cole.
Has a guy that went to school there he's a bad guy. His name is Bill Cosby.
Yes.
And so
yes. I was going to say,
Shannon, let me tell you what he did. You might want to brace yourself for this.
I was like, are we going to go in on Cosby? Because
what's going on, Cosby?
I mean, I'm fine with going in on Cosby. But because I knew he went to Temple.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah.
So Cosby means love, right?
No, that's like a Cleveland steamer.
Okay.
That's the same thing, basically. Both are bad. You don't want either one. Stay away from Bill Cosby. Anyways, we kind of joked about it on the show before, like maybe somebody would do a Bill Cosby song.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if we were the cause of this song.
I don't know if we can take credit for this.
I don't know if I want to take credit for this.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm bracing myself for.
And now that he's throwing a pill like Dr. Mario style, while drinking a martini. Because he's a classy gentleman.
Oh my god!
That drinks martinis.
That son of a bitch.
Oh man!
I see no hashtag. I see no logo.
What's wild to me is that I mean it's anti-Cosby, but is it pro-Temple? I can't tell. It still looks like they're rooting for Temple.
So good. We can be throwing pills.
We're going to drug you and then score a bunch of touchdowns. See what we're going to do as the quarterback. That's horrible.
You can't stop the running games.
I love the Cosby impersonation. Great. If only there was a pudding pop right there.
Right, exactly.
Instead of martini.
And also I mentioned that we should get on a NASCAR car, and I had a few people actually pinging me.
Oh man.
Well, because my whole thing was there's like 3,000 logos on a NASCAR.
Yeah, and like some of them are a little,
itty bitty
small
ones.
patches. You get the whole suit.
And then but there's like 40 something cars on a NASCAR track like Daytona. It's like we could be like one little tiny logo on one of the mini cars maybe. And
did you look into pricing?
Someone wrote me and said that for a major sponsorship on the hood, it's $1 million per race. And that's like, when you see the Tide logo on the side or whatever, GoDaddy, $1 million per race. But some of the smaller ones are, I say reasonable, but they're like $10,000 per race. Okay. So I don't think we're going to.
What about on the jackets or whatever?
I don't know about that.
Like a patch on the jacket.
I mean, there's bound to be one driver that's a fan, right? Like,
well, what about a hood ornament? Like, like where the logo is? Like, what if we put like Jack's face right on the front of it?
Can we get our logo here? Can we get our logo made into like a bronze and like put that on the front of a car?
Nice.
It's probably aerodynamic, right?
Yeah,
It's
cool.
It's shaped
right.
We're
gonna actually have to talk some NASCAR later. Jeff Gordon is like being Jeff Gordon from like back in the 90s.
Yeah,
he's like kicking ass or something.
He's racing like a maniac.
Yeah, he's taking better left turns than anybody else. I know that.
Who loves being pissed off? NASCAR fans.
It's hard coming back from Tommy John surgery when you're a race car. Anyway,
what if you could drive a NASCAR just like with the hand on a 12? Like instead of
you get like the carpal tunnel, you got to wear the little wrist brace.
That's awesome. All right, so we're gonna have a challenge now for you guys. There's a huge game day coming up. Oh wait, hold on.
Oh God, what happened?
Oh my God, I almost forgot.
What did you pass up? What do we miss?
I almost forgot about something that most people have forgotten about. Okay, and I got to bring it up right now.
This is impressive.
Now, with all due respect to the guy that made Cole's face show up on game day, we're going to be hooking you up with the prize, which is really cool. And I'll be in touch with you.
I'm going to take something off Joel's desk.
I've been watching College Game Day since I was a wee lad, and I have never seen a sign like the one I saw at Temple. I think it's the greatest College Game Day sign of all time.
Okay.
This is a sign I saw at College Game Day. Now this is a joke. For I don't know if you guys can see that. What that says is I farted on Bob Costas's pillow. Now
that's a throwback right there.
That is a throwback. So you caught it, Shannon.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay. I mean, it's hilarious, but I don't get it.
It's like a two-parter. One, it's hilarious. It's
Clearly,
really
Bob
funny.
Costas is not there, so it's like, all right, sure.
And I don't know if there's any connection with Bob Costas.
Is this the Pink Eye Olympics?
Look at how awesome is that?
Poor Bob.
Do you guys remember that? I'm looking at this. I'm like, no.
He's like Rick Moranis' cooler brrother. I love Bob Costas.
I remember when this was going on, there were a lot of comparisons to Rick Moranis in Ghostbusters with his glowing pink eyes.
There's only Zool.
I love Bob Costas. Poor guy. He comes, like the Olympics are like his big thing. Every 2 years they pop up. Yeah, and he's amazing. It's like that's so good. And then the poor dude gets pink eye.
What's crazy? That guy's been doing this forever.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if he called the World Series in '85, but he called the ALCS in '85.
Wow.
The Royals and Blue Jays games.
He was a young guy.
Or he's immortal. He's immortal. He's got
the Dick Clark genes in him.
Yeah, I think so.
Al Michaels been doing the same.
Yeah.
Al Michaels has been doing this for a long time.
He did 1980 Olympics Miracle on Ice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And one of his openings, I don't know if we can find this, but one of the openings is like, it was a different time in the 80s. You guys can attest.
Yeah, well, it was
a different time.
It's a different time when a man could take off his shirt and chest hair just everywhere.
That's did chest hair everywhere, including your face.
But he did an intro for the Olympics, and it's Al Michaels talking, and they're showing you around Lake Placid, I think is where it was at, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And then it just goes to a shot of him laid out like Burt Reynolds, but he's next to a hot tub, and he's just like this. But he's been talking about it like it's normal, but he's just laid back like this with his legs up, just talking about the Olympics, shirt off.
Nice.
Just a rug of hair.
Nice. Again, maybe an immortal warlock of some kind.
That's true. He has just been doing it forever.
He's been doing it for a long time.
We were getting so many text messages.
Oh, yeah, they're loving it.
Saying Temple should have won. They should have ran on their last play. Yeah, Temple actually almost beat Notre Dame in that game, which is absolutely insane. Let's see. Fuck all of you.
All right, good general.
Those are my favorite text messages.
I got a tweet here.
What do you got?
That's actually a sports hater. Some of you just hate sports.
I got a tweet here.
Is forced to watch the show.
Jenna says, "Excuse you, Jack, but Rick Moranis is a god. Of course he is. Or he is God. Is God, not a god, but is God. And I totally agree. Rick Moranis is amazing.
Yeah, we are pro Moranis on the show.
He's a banjo monster. I love that dude.
100% pro Rick Moranis.
Yeah. And it's sad
Canadian
that
overlord.
We haven't
Rick
seen him in
Moranis is
forever.
welcome anytime.
What was that?
He's welcome anytime on the show.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
I saw something recently. He's kind of bitter. I think. He's
really?
Yeah, he's like not involved in Hollywood on purpose for some reason.
Well, his wife passed away or something, so he kind of got out of the game for a long time.
Oh, is that what it was?
And he never got back into it because he wanted to raise his kids.
Gotcha.
I want to say that's what it was.
Okay.
And he's kind of like he can pick and choose what he wants to do. And he doesn't
I think
want
it
to
was
do
something
anything.
he was like, nah, I don't want anything to do with the new Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
And I respect him for that.
The gist
Anyway,
of the article.
that's a whole other story.
That's
Let's
a
get
whole
back to
other
sports.
thing.
Let's get back to
do
sports.
that. All right. So the game day this weekend is going to be LSU Alabama. Now that's a good game right
That
there.
is a
gonna be a
big
good one.
old
That's a
game.
fun game.
Is it
That's
in
a big
Bama?
game.
It is at Bama.
Okay.
Unfortunately for people. Not for those of you that live in Alabama, that's great. But for those of you that have to travel to that place, I mean, Tuscaloosa's fine and all. It's not Baton Rouge because New Orleans is like the place to be for an LSU game. You go for watch parties, for bourbon,
And just go crazy.
and then you go to the game. And like
yeah.
Death Valley is supposedly like just the coolest place ever.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure Tuscaloosa is just fine. And
I think. I
dandy.
mean, I know some. I feel like I know some people who went to Bama.
You're treading on dangerous territory here, my
oh,
friend.
yeah. Now you're gonna check the.
Yeah,
you're gonna
Alabama
check the
fans
feed.
are almost like Philly fans. You
Bring
gotta-
him
you gotta-
out from the woodworks. I want to talk to him. So that game is going to be huge. It's Nick Saban. It's Les Miles. It's the guy that eats grass versus the guy who's like shorter than me. It's going to be awesome. It's Leonard Fournette and then just Bama, who I really don't think is that good this year.
You're like the shittiest promoter ever. It's the guy who eats grass versus the short dude.
So,
This Saturday.
that's. I mean, that's a huge game. That's a huge rivalry.
Oh, yeah, and this is going to decide a lot in the SEC West as far as who goes forward, and LSU could be your team. They win this game. They might just roll into the playoffs, which, by the way, the selection committee is going to be announcing that tonight. The first rankings for the college football playoff,
Okay.
the first four and everything else like that is going to be tonight at 6 o'clock. But I don't care about that. What I want to know is what is going to be our game day challenge? Because there's so many possibilities right here. I have some.
Okay.
We could put Brandon's face on like Dumbo.
That's a good one.
Because Alabama had
elephants,
the
the
elephants. We could do
elephant,
something with
right.
Mike the Tiger. We could do something with Forrest Gump. Because remember, he played at Alabama.
He did. Maybe we do Forrest Gump with Brandon's face on Forrest Gump's body.
Or Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah.
Maybe
Joel is Lieutenant Dan.
Joel is Lieutenant Dan.
Dan.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
and Brandon would be
Forrest.
Yeah, it'd be
Gump.
Forrest.
There we go.
Okay,
There
this
we
is
go.
Forrest.
And Cole would be Ginny. So it all works out perfect. I like it.
I love it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, I
perfect.
think we got the whole
I
cast
think that's
here.
totally perfect.
I think that'd work. All right, so Cole is Jenny. Do we want to do
I
Little Forrest?
think any of them. Like, go crazy. Whatever. I mean, our community is amazing. They will come up with something.
They'll do something.
Right.
Yeah.
It is a Alabama versus LSU Forrest Gump fanfic.
Internets.
Internets make it happen. Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
right.
So I hope all you guys, for anybody going to that game, get out there, put up a sign. We're going to give you some cash. And it could be a crazy game. Who knows? I have no idea.
I think it's
it
gonna be a
usually
crazy
goes
game.
down being a crazy
It'll
game.
be a crazy game. I mean, I think the X factor is going to be Leonard Fournette.
I know.
I mean,
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah,
I mean,
that
the
guy's
guy's like an
just
NFL
unreal, right?
running back playing at college.
Yeah. He's
just a freak.
We
He's
always
just-
see those guys. They're like the men playing with the kids. Like Vince Young was like that, where it was just
Yeah.
like he just overran anyone.
Yeah.
And he-
By the way, you just used up your one Texas
I
thing
know
for
that's
the show.
our Texas.
That's your one Texas thing.
That's our Texas thing we got to say for today. Also, they're terrible, but anyway, that's a whole other. We won't get into
That's
it.
two
We
things,
understand,
Jack. That's two
we
things.
understand that Texas is terrible. End of story.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, you see those players where it's like, oh yeah, this guy is clearly
Just
bigger than this.
bit,
Yeah.
But what's interesting then is like when those guys don't work out in the pros.
Yeah.
Which is always like, it never makes sense. A lot of the times for running backs or quarterbacks, sometimes it's an injury, and then you can be like, oh, if that hadn't happened,
Right.
it'd be a different story. But
Sometimes it's like it's a weird. It's a system, you know. I mean, I think that's a little bit happened to RG3. I mean,
Yeah.
well, again, also got injured and stuff, but
Right.
that it's just like, wow, man, it's so dominant, and then what?
And you learn what was a system guy compared to just a guy that can be put anywhere and dominate.
Yep.
I mean, he's getting comparisons to like Herschel Walker and
Yeah.
Bo
Wow.
Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like
can-
really good
They
company.
make it,
And again, they do that all the time.
They do that all the time, and then like you can't make those distinctions till like after they're done. Be like, oh, he was that damn good, you know? Like doing it during the at the time.
No, it's not.
Can't see the forest for the trees.
You just got to let it play out. So we'll see what happens. By the way, this comes in on the text line, and you can text into the show. Course number right there. That was a great promotion for the LSU game. Loved it. You're welcome. I'm here every Tuesday at 5 o'clock.
Nice.
All right, so that game's going to be a lot of fun. Now, I don't know if it's going to be as good as this game because I know this has a lot of people talking. Did you guys see the Miami-Duke game?
I saw the last play of the Miami-Duke game. I didn't watch the whole game.
That was probably a better question. Like, who the fuck watched that game? Miami is awful.
I didn't. That was Saturday night, right?
Yeah.
So I was watching another crazy Royals comeback and dealing with trick-or-treat stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So it was only afterwards that like my Twitter feed was like, oh my God, Duke and Miami. And I was like, what's going on? And I watched the last play of the game. Wow.
Yeah, I can't believe that it happened.
Should we explain what happened during the game?
Can we show? I think we might have the video. Do we have the video, the footage of this stuff? I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay.
So this is unreal.
So basically, Duke is ahead right now. This is the last play of the game. It was a
the
kickoff.
time is about to expire if it hasn't already.
The clock has just run out. And so
now all that needs to happen for Duke is to down the Miami guy.
Yeah.
A Miami guy.
So the guy.
That's our fourth lateral right there?
Yeah, and then so this guy runs and I think
that's the one that people say he was down?
Yeah, his knee hit the ground and he threw the ball back. But it was reviewed, but they we'll get into it in a little bit.
Had to go backwards. Okay, still going backwards.
By the way, Benny Hill theme song is playing during this entire thing.
Okay, and then here, and then they catch a break.
Yeah, right there.
They get the formation.
He's got two guys.
Probably a block in the back right there.
Oh, there we go. Kill the kick. Oh, little stutter step.
And
the band is on the field. The band is on the field.
The band is on the field. And that's a throwback.
And so Miami wins, apparently.
Yeah.
And Duke, not traditionally a football power, but they've got a good team this year, for a little while. And and they get taken out by a not very good Miami team.
Which it's been the story this year. It's been unbelievable to me how many special teams errors, how many crazy plays from, like, this has never happened before. Like, we thought it was a big deal for Texas to be missing extra points to tie up games, and then Michigan State, and then Georgia Tech, Florida State. And then this, it's insane. And by the way, I don't think Miami won this game. That officiating crew got suspended.
Yeah, they got completely suspended.
He got suspended because that was
the entire
bullshit.
Crew and the review guy got suspended.
Oh, did they really? So I didn't watch any of the angle. So he was down.
Oh,
down.
Yeah, and he scored the last play of the game, and I think it is just like last 2 minutes. It's going to be reviewed. So they review it, and then they're like, no, that was totally fine. None of that shit. No, it's all legal.
The guy's knee is down, and he has the ball, and he's about to throw it back, but he's holding the ball, and his knee is down. And they're like, it's fine. The officiating crew has now been suspended, including the review guy, which means they were in the wrong. Like, clearly they see, like, oh, they got this play wrong, so we're suspending them.
But they're not going to reverse. They're not going to reverse the outcome of the game.
You really just can't. You can't go back and remove it.
Yeah, you can't vacate that victory. No. Are you going to go back and post-mortem give
why
get that
why
away?
Can't they? If a team they'll vacate titles if a team is proven to have cheated and that kind of stuff.
I think USC has won one game in the last 30 years after it's all been said and done. After everything they've gone through.
So why? I don't like the NCAA. That seems arbitrary that they couldn't reverse that.
Well, we're talking about the NCAA, the most corrupt organization on planet Earth. They don't have anything on.
I think FIFA might have an argument. Oh
yeah, we might have to get into that.
We're gonna have to have a.
That's the battle.
It needs to be like a wrestle off.
Yeah. Well, we could
set bladder in the.
Yeah. Do you follow soccer at all? A little bit.
A little. When the World Cup. So I don't follow like any of the league series in Europe or anything like that. So I don't have a big I don't have a team or anything that I follow, but when the World Cup comes around, I get caught up in World Cup fever and all that kind of stuff.
The Sepp Blatter story though has been like,
I've followed all that.
That has been insane. Did you see what happened last week with that? That he basically came out. Sepp Blatter, if you don't know, is the on again off again president of FIFA. He resigns and then he comes back and then he quits and then he takes it back over again.
He's the Santa Ana of of FIFA.
That is kind of looks like Santa Ana too.
That is the best analogy ever.
Oh, you want me back? Okay, fine. I will be your dictator again.
So Sepp Blatter, he keeps getting in trouble. Basically, the corruption charges have been brought against his cohorts. A few Americans, tons of officials all over the globe who are being indicted and probably going to go to jail for rigging the elections for the 2018 and 2022 World Cup.
So I know that one of his underlings just got extradited from Switzerland to the United States for corruption.
Yeah, and this guy is a trip. This guy is he's an American who like spent his money on the craziest shit. Like he had an apartment in New York for his cats. Not kidding. Like for like a penthouse overlooking Central Park for Mr. Kitten. Like that's what he had.
Just his cats.
Just his cats. He also had a garage in New York filled with Segways. Not like my Segways are amazing, but like actual like the Segways that you like ride on. So like that's the type of people we're dealing with. Well, Sepp Blatter got in trouble recently where he was sitting down for an interview, and I don't even know why this guy's talking to anybody, basically saying that he did rig the elections. He admitted it.
Okay.
Saying that we were going to give them to Russia and the United States without anybody voting on them. And then he's like, but I was at a dinner party or something, and France came, and they fucked it up. And it was like Qatar wants a little piece of the action. So then he's like, well, then Qatar screwed it all up. And then that is what is
he's trying to put the blame on how easily corrupted he is onto the countries who are putting pressure on him.
He's like,
what can I do when Qatar comes to me with money?
All these envelopes full of cash, and what am I supposed to do?
This is what happens when France comes over.
That is the weirdest victim card ever.
Like he says it in the story, like verbatim. He's like, everything was fine until fucking France got involved. Like
that is verbatim in the story. We got a tweet here from Kinsey saying, all I'm taking away from today's sports ball is Tyler Coe is young and short.
This is true.
So that seems about right.
There we go.
Thank you for the tweet.
There we go.
Good
All right,
God.
so there's your soccer bit I just wanted to throw that soccer thing in there because we want to get we want to get in as much as we can.
We're trying to pay attention to more international sports. So people are pointing out that the play we just watched, the Miami Duke one, was actually a bunch of rugby players dressed up like Miami football players. So essentially the same idea.
It did look like
that.
And
a
actually,
little bit.
for any of you rugby fans, we have an interview later on in the show with one of our experts. We'll get to that later. But right now, I want to do a read for Harry's.
All right.
Sounds good.
We're going to do a read for Harry's. Harry's is awesome. Harry's is, of course, the razor blade, not just some guy named Harry. It's not Harry Terry or anything else like that. Harry's is our great sponsor who's hooking you up with a great promotion. Promo code SPORTSBALL. Go to the website. You're going to get $5 off your first purchase. Harry's is really good. Now, I'm not using it right now on my beard because I'm doing like No Shave November, but I'm using it for my gooch.
Okay.
So my gooch is getting it.
Wait, what, your gooch is where? Point to your gooch again.
This is the little
is that,
hollows of your neck. That's called the gooch.
Have you heard of that?
No, I'm not. I mean, that's a hard spot to shave.
Yeah, it's like this is a very sensitive area for a guy, but this is like
that's not actually the gooch.
Yeah, thank you, Cole. He's looking it up. He checked. He's fact checked.
I don't know if you want to Google gooch.
Look up gooch.
I think you may find some things that you don't want to see.
Yeah, let's just do. I'm feeling lucky and put it right up on the screen. No, let's not do that.
Yeah, confirm whether or not a gooch is your neck. This is a gooch.
Isn't it the waddle? I think, right? That's
the waddle. That's what
the turkeys have.
That's how you walk. That's a waddle is a way you walk. Like babies waddle.
All right.
But this is a gooch.
Okay, continue your gooch shaving.
All right.
So go to Harry's.
This is, and you know what's great is that's all directly in their copy. When you need to get to your gooch.
Harry's probably hates me now.
No, I'm sure they love you.
No, but they're really cool. They have great stuff that they send with your starter kit. They give you a really good face wash that I use all the time. It's probably the best deal you can get right there. So go to Harry's, check them out. Promo code SPORTSBALL. So before we move on from college football, I wanted to get this in because we were talking about this. Apart from being a Royals fan, I asked if you grew up in Kansas City.
Right.
And you told me no, that you grew up in Southwest Iowa.
Southwest Iowa, yep.
So you're a Hawkeye fan.
I'm a Hawkeye fan. I went to the University of Iowa. So, saw some good teams back then. My freshman year, they went to the Rose Bowl. And they kind of trailed off a little bit. That's back when Hayden Fry was still the coach.
Hayden Fry,
man, yeah.
Now, Kirk Ferentz, who is like unkillable.
Yeah.
Like the guy is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like he's been in Iowa for
since the late 90s. So he's been there like 16, 17 years.
He's got to be one of the longer tenured coaches in the country.
I think he's now one of the longest. Yeah, I think he, with what's-his-face retiring, I think he's the longest tenured. He's tied with...
Frank Beamer from VTech.
When Beamer retired...
Cole, can you check on that?
He and Stoops at Oklahoma are now tied for the longest tenured coach.
Really?
At one continuous team,
Which is insane.
right now.
And Iowa, I mean, they go up and down. It just kind of depends on the year.
It depends on the year recruiting class. It kind of, also the quality of competition in the Big Ten.
Beamer will retire after the 2015 season.
What was that?
Frank Beamer will retire after the 2015 season.
Right. Saying like after he does,
so I
Kirk
think he
Ferentz
does. Stoops and Ferentz will be the longest tenure,
which is just absolutely incredible.
Seems like Stoops came around like the late 90s, I guess.
Yeah, late 90s.
He came up. Who did he coach for? There's like the coaching tree at Youngstown State.
Yeah,
is like the Bill Walsh coaching tree for college football.
And Stoops is
douche.
Well, he was as an Oklahoma fan, but he played at the University of Iowa. He was part of Hayden Fry's early 80s.
Yeah, wasn't he
crew.
a linebacker?
He was a linebacker or lineman. He was something. I know he was, not a skill position, but
clearly not. He's not that skilled.
He's a kind of a meathead kind of guy.
He absolutely is.
But yeah, Stoops was part of those early 80s Hayden Fry Hawkeye teams that were really good. And that, so there's a little Iowa connection with him coaching at
right.
at
and
Oklahoma.
So now Iowa's actually doing something pretty shocking. They're shocking all of us. I mean,
running.
They have to even be shocking you because they're undefeated in the Big Ten.
Yep.
And they're not going to lose a game.
Probably not
until the Big Ten championship game.
So Nebraska and Minnesota, they got to. They beat the better teams in the Big Ten West with Wisconsin and Northwestern, and they beat Northwestern handily too.
Yeah.
They killed them, but. Nebraska and Minnesota, I think, are both emotional games. They're next door state rivals. I think those teams will get up for Iowa and play them hard. But yeah, they may go undefeated up until the Big Ten, the final of the Big Ten.
Iowa in the playoffs. Jack, do you agree with this? Are you okay with this happening?
Man, the playoffs are going to be so interesting this year. I'm actually kind of sad because the first rankings are coming out tonight, right?
Yeah, they're coming out at 6 o'clock.
I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with them because you have a lot of teams that have one loss already that have insanely tough schedules.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's how are they going to compare that to?
The Hawkeyes schedule isn't that tough.
It's not that tough.
I'll be fair.
Right now, but if you get a marquee win down at at the end of the season, that could change things for you. And then you look at Ohio State, they could have the Florida State kind of mark on them, if you will, from last year, because Florida State, even though they were undefeated last year, they fell in every playoff ranking until the very, very end. Ohio State has looked like shit for the most part of the season. They've had some troubles with their quarterbacks. JT Barrett just got booted because of DUI.
Yep.
So Cardell Jones is going to be taking the helm, I guess, from here on out. Maybe even throw Braxton Miller back in, but they have not looked that impressive.
Yeah.
Baylor just lost their starting quarterback. You have Clemson and Dabo Swinney, who sleeps with his mom. They're up there and they're beating the hell out of everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in LSU. I mean, and then you have Iowa. You have Houston, who's undefeated. You have Memphis. I don't know how they're going to gauge these teams.
That's a crazy thing about college is there's comparing schedules and records is so hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy.
I do not envy that squad of people, that mishmash of people, including Condoleezza Rice for some reason. But it's
she's a part of it.
Yeah, and it's just weird. And she went to Stanford, so she can't talk about any Pac-12 stuff or something or anything involving Stanford. She literally has to leave the room, and there's other people associated with.
Well,
college.
there could be a 12 angry men or 11 angry men.
Is this some Illuminati chamber somewhere with the dark rituals? And
I'm thinking Hot Fuzz, the circle with the fire pit in the middle.
That's basically
and, throwing names.
What do you think of Iowa?
Michigan State, did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
Chicken wing bone or something tells you where they're going to be.
We have a tweet
she grovels on the ground like a witch.
What's that, Cole?
We have a tweet from Gray Greenlee saying Harry should send Tyler some gooch wipes for that read.
I'm getting some things on the text line about what a gooch is.
Yeah, you should probably not read those out loud. So we have, going back a little bit, so someone's asking, Brandon's asking on Twitter, are you not a fan of Sporting KC, which is their
football,
the MLS,
their soccer team? I mean, I'm as a guy, I've never lived in Kansas City. That Major League Soccer came up after I was living in the area, so I follow him on Twitter, just because I kind of root for all Kansas City sports for whatever reason.
Right, well, that's good.
And they're good. I mean, they just lost to Portland, I know, in some shootout. They went to penalty kicks and they lost. I don't know if it was the championship or the semifinals or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
and also their stadium is incredible too.
They sell out all the time.
Yeah, my cousin does events here in Austin, and he went up there to take a look at their venue, and he was just blown away by it.
Yeah.
That is a very modern stadium that was built with Wi-Fi ports everywhere. And you can actually actually track players. They have an app where you can look and watch a player running, and you can see how far they've run. Like it'll track how many miles they've run over the course of a game in real time.
Wow.
And it's like, that's awesome. Like I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like
that's super cool.
I want to say the Mariners had something like that in their stadium. Like they have an app for your 3DS. Like if you have a Nintendo 3DS, you could like watch the game live.
Seriously?
Yeah, because they were owned by Nintendo.
You replace all the players with Nintendo characters.
Yeah, you get Mario at the bat. But so I mean that's pretty cool. And I mean honestly, I wish there was a quote unquote pro team in Austin.
I do too, man.
Well, there's a push for it.
Yeah, I mean, we have a decent soccer team here with the Aztecs, and then we have the Texas Stars up in Cedar Park, which is like the minor. It's the field team for the Dallas Stars, or the farm team for them. And those guys play good. I mean, they've won a couple championships now, and they've been playing solid. But something about I wish we had a pro team, but as long as UT's here, I don't think it's ever going to happen.
I think UT will keep them out. I mean, whether indirectly as a non-inviting environment, or directly if they're like, nah, we don't want competition.
I mean, if anything, it's going to pop up. There's going to be a stadium somewhere between San Marcos and Austin that's going to pop up and be like the Central Texas whatever.
It could be. We'll see. I mean, I know the Raiders are making a push, but UT might not keep them out if they keep playing the way they have. Because lost to Iowa State 24-0. That's going to be my one Texas thing.
Yours.
Now, which was more shocking, that or this?
Shut out.
One of the bigger games this past weekend that was a huge shocker. Broncos, Packers. Aaron Rodgers had 77 yards total in that game.
Undefeated. Two undefeated teams. How are the Broncos undefeated?
I don't know.
I thought for sure the Broncos were going to go into the meat grinder that is the Packers and come out as gross on the other side.
I think you have to respect them now.
You got to respect them. That defense is for real.
Holy shit.
They're for real. And so even though Manning hasn't looked sharp, the offense has had ups and downs or whatever, that defense is insane.
They might have the best secondary in the NFL.
Yeah.
They set the edge on the pass rush. Von Miller is a freak. Like, they don't give up anything. Aaron Rodgers was running for his life the entire game. I have never seen him look like that before.
Voicemails ready. We should go to 113C. I think that sort of sums it up for anyone who's.
God damn it, Tyler. I was rooting for the Packers, and you just gotta fucking say they're gonna win? Really, man? How about you just say the team that you think is gonna lose? Aaron, she's gonna win from now on. That's cursed. I'm bringing the goat. I'm bringing the damn llama. I don't care. I'm bringing an alpaca.
So Shannon, I've become like the kiss of death basically on the show.
Are you the kiss of death?
I picked the Cubs.
Did you predict the Mets?
I did.
There we go.
I picked the Mets.
There we go.
I picked the Packers. I picked the Cubs. I've picked everyone that's basically lost.
So did you pick Texas to beat Iowa State?
Yes, I did. I don't know why the fuck I would do that.
So as a fellow, one of the tweets I got was one of my followers did want me as a fellow Iowan to give you guys a hard time about the Cyclones shutting them out.
Please.
At this point, the only sort of redeeming factor, the only silver lining of this season for the Texas Longhorns is that we beat OU, which is amazing. But not just that we beat OU, that OU can now go undefeated and they have zero chance of making the playoffs. If they have one loss and their one loss is at Texas, that automatically drops them. So that's like the one redeeming factor.
You can say whatever you want, and I'm learning from the text line that you can just stick it right up my gooch. That's basically it right there.
You're not gonna go shave your gooch after this?
No, I'm not gonna. I can't. I don't know if I want to shave my gooch anymore. I just want to shave my neck. Go to Harry's.
How many touchdowns does Peyton Manning have right now, Cole? Is it like 7 touchdowns for the season? Yeah, it's something ridiculous.
Well, yeah, right, because Breeze threw as many on Sunday as Manning had.
Him and Eli just went off.
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
It
was like 15 touchdowns between the two.
Breeze had 7. Eli had 6.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, insane.
13 touchdowns between two players.
And nobody started them in any of your leagues. I know none of you did that. I did not. I had Eli on my bench.
7.
Oh, was he on your bench? I played a guy who was playing Eli.
I was playing against my brother who had Drew Brees on his bench, and I had Eli on mine.
Yeah, Joel had Drew Brees on his bench. I
had OBJ playing, so that was nice.
So I'm getting a few text messages saying, Tyler, please don't root for the Patriots. Well,
I don't think anything is going to stop the Patriots right now, dude.
The Broncos could, because that's going to be the big matchup.
But do they go up to Foxborough, or is it in Denver?
Cole, can you check and see where that game is?
I think the edge goes to the home team. I think that's what's going to decide.
If it's at Gillette, then it's Patriots. I still think the Patriots get the edge, but I mean,
Denver.
It's in Denver.
It's going to be a battle.
They play. I believe they play the Colts, the Bears, and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Broncos do leading up to the Patriots. So those are all winnable games.
Totally.
So and nobody's beating the Patriots.
Nobody's
Here I
beating
say
the
that,
Patriots.
I'm predicting that no one is beating the Patriots.
Dude,
no one.
I agree with you. I think no one is going to beat the Patriots. This is Tom Brady's I'm pissed off season.
It really
And,
is.
like, and
Yeah.
He's not going to stop until he wins
Patriots
this
have
thing.
Giants and Bills next up before the Broncos.
Giants and Bills. That's 2 easy wins,
That's
right?
pretty. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
That's
they
doable.
got
That's
2
gonna be
bye
done.
weeks before heading over to the
All right, so I
Broncos.
know Aaron Rodgers had a really bad weekend. I mean, that's the worst game he's ever played in his entire career, but I don't know if it was as bad as Colin Kaepernick's. Colin Kaepernick is having a rough year, folks. The 49ers are done. They're already spun out. By the way, little 49ers Denver connection. Vernon Davis is going to the Broncos.
I saw that.
Because that's fair. Like for everyone.
That's how it works.
Which is awesome for the Broncos. Finally, Peyton's going to have some tight end help. He hasn't really had that with Owen Daniels. I don't even know if Jacob Tammy's still on the team, but they've missed that weapon. That was Thomas Jones.
Right.
Not Thomas Jones. Who am I thinking? Julius Thomas.
Julius
excuse
Thomas.
Me. But Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, if we're talking about Kaepernick, let's go to
Jesus.
113A. If you got the if you got the voicemail up here.
Kaepernick just got benched for Blaine Gabbert. At this point, I'll take Brandon as their starting QB.
Well, if it's a system and you can just really place anyone in that system.
Don't
I mean,
start
all
with
you gotta
this.
know, you just be able to hold the ball and throw it. I mean, anyone could really be there and be a pro.
Well, the best thing I saw.
Best tight end ever.
The best thing I saw a tweet earlier because again I'm a Chiefs fan, so I saw a tweet in the middle of the season, maybe week 4 or 5 was. Harbaugh thought he had 2 good quarterbacks, and it turns out he had none. And that was it. It's like, yeah.
It's so bad. And it gets even worse for Colin because, not only is he getting benched for Blaine Gabbert.
Blaine Gabbert,
you know the area well, Missouri. Blaine Gabbert sucks.
Oh man,
That sounds like someone who does like your
terrible.
your vinyl siding. Like you call it, hey Blaine, I gotta get this wall done.
With all due respect,
by the end of the day, Grandma's gonna be pissed.
He was a quarterback in a long line of Jaguars quarterbacks that just suck.
yeah.
I mean, because
And they all have,
go to
like-
Jacksonville, but I mean,
Yeah, and I think a prerequisite to be a quarterback for the Jags is you have to have a gooberish name. Blake Bortles,
Blaine Gabbert,
Blaine Gabbert. It's just like we play in Northern Florida. Woohoo!
So you think that would be bad enough to get benched for that guy? You basically like your time in San Francisco is going to be done. They have the option to get rid of him and save some money on this. That's probably what's going to happen. He's probably done in San Francisco, and I mean you can get him right now because one fan took it upon themselves to sell him on Amazon.com.
Look at that dopey smile.
NFL quarterback.
Somebody put him up there for the low price of $114 million.
Well, you get free shipping though.
Any purchase over $35, you get free shipping. So you're saving money right there.
If it was Prime, I would have jumped right on top of that.
Are they going to freeze him in a box like they froze me in a box in that RT short?
Send him
Just,
wherever.
stick him in
I
a
like to think
crate.
it's like basketball where you just put him in a glass box and he's just sitting there.
You
and
just break
clocks
him in an
in.
emergency.
Yeah, because you don't want to play with him. I mean, it would be a terrible experience.
You don't want to taint it.
But it says, in case you're wondering what comes with a Colin Kaepernick, he has a fun last name that feels like it's way more than 3 syllables. Yeah, that was really exciting a few years ago. So that's something. And it says he can also double as a douche. So poor Colin, man. It has been a rough year for this guy.
Real quick, I just want to point out, Joel had Drew Brees on his bench. He was worth 66 points, and he started Andy Dalton was worth 8. So that's a nice little 58
Andy
point
Dalton,
swing.
our champion of the show.
Oh, man.
Come on, guys. Let's go win a championship.
They won the game, man.
They did.
Cincinnati.
They're tough. They're gonna be sneaky on people in the playoffs.
I don't disagree. I don't see them going all the way. I don't buy that. I don't buy the Panthers right now. I buy the Patriots, and now after last weekend, I buy
Denver.
the Broncos. That's
Really?
it.
You're buying the Broncos so quick. I mean, I know they were undefeated, but still, like, they've had some sloppy victories.
They were lucky to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I mean, that was some dumb coaching to beat the Chiefs.
Were lucky to beat the Raiders. They've gotten lucky all year long. But as Darryl Royal used to say, head coach of Texas, luck is where preparation and opportunity meet.
Yeah,
and that is what they've been doing.
And you look at the Royals, like down so many games in the playoffs, they made their own stupid luck. And I think the Broncos have done that enough times that they go in, they can win a blowout, then they win the weird games that are fluky, but they create those situations.
And Darryl Royal also said, don't ever fucking lose to Iowa State.
He's spinning in his grave right now.
He really is. Just awful. So
apparently Colts just fired their offensive coordinator. That's exciting.
Not surprising.
Not surprising, no.
Nope.
No, I don't know what has been
Thank
going
you, LA,
on
for texting that in.
with the Colts. I mean, we've seen some great quarterbacks this year take a step step back. I mean, Andrew Luck being one of them, I have no idea what's going on.
Well, didn't it come out that Andrew Luck had broken ribs for like 3 weeks
and
or
they were
something?
maybe kind of keeping it on. They may get fined because that they were kind of playing shifty with the injury reports.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's the whole thing is like this league is all about protecting quarterbacks. No one gets injured. And it's like, oh, yeah, we got an injured quarterback. Shh.
Just don't tell
it's
anybody.
okay. It's okay. He's fine. Just rub some dirt on it. Yeah.
And we'll have to see what happens with the Cowboys. It reminds me of like Tony Romo when he had broken ribs and like a punctured lung and was like still playing football.
He's wheeling out with his blood bag on the field.
Romo, he called the shot. He told Tom Brady, he's like, I'm going to see you in February.
Well,
yes, you are, Cowboys. Yes, you are. We all know what that
Cowboys,
means.
they got 2 wins and they're still 1 game back.
Yeah, it's been crazy. The Texans are like leading the AFC South at 3-5,
and lost some ugly games to bad teams.
Miami. I mean, Bill O'Brien should have been just left off the bus.
Yeah,
you gave up 41 points to Miami. Like Jesus, Lord Almighty.
Someone's asking any Raiders love on Sportsball. It's coming from LA.
Hey, the Raiders are legit. I think they finally they're over the hump. I mean, they're what if the season ended, they're the first wild card. As of right now,
look that up.
Yeah.
I think they. I mean, they're second in the AFC West. But I think they might have the lock on the wild card because they beat the Jets. Wow. But
and they've been playing great. I love Derek Carr to Amari Cooper. Mm-hmm. That's an awesome matchup right there.
And I love to hate the Raiders as a Chiefs fan, but it's a love thing. It's like I love that the Raiders are out there. You
always like it when you see young guys like that, just coming together and you didn't think. And it's Derek Carr, and he has to come in with that stigma of like his brother being what David Carr was in Houston, which was just awful. So it's nice to see Derek Carr doing good. So I love the Raiders. All right, we're going to do something right now that's pretty fun. One of the things we're going to start doing on the show is we're going to start talking about more sports across the globe. Now, what that means is that we're going to start going to correspondents in the field, experts all across the globe to talk about the sports that you guys love. And, what was it, last week, 2 weeks ago, Jack, I was talking about the Rugby World Cup being over.
Yeah, and you totally got it wrong.
Wasn't. Yeah. Wasn't over.
I was in London. And
not only do you call the wrong teams, you call the wrong end dates for championships.
You got the right team for what it's worth.
All right.
You called New Zealand winning.
I called New Zealand winning, yes.
Congratulations, New Zealand, for winning the Rugby World Cup. And they still hadn't played the final versus Australia.
It was bad. I just got destroyed, Shannon, online.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you're qualified to be the governor of Texas.
Yes.
There you go.
It was kind of like we had a huddle after the show after we learned that. I was like, all right, 2 things. Don't talk about gooches and quit doing this. We need to get people on the ground.
Who have you said, oh, I'm scratching my gooch right now?
I feel like I've been saying that my whole life.
Really?
Yeah, this is
Who was it a big brother that told you that? It's like, oh yeah, that's totally your gooch.
No, I'm the big brother. I'm the big brother. So I
you have a smart little brother. Is that what the problem is?
It's whoever told me smoke show.
Do you have an older sister that's just really, really mean to you?
No.
It's okay. We're all friends here.
No, it's don't do stuff with gooches. All right, what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna go global, and we're gonna check in down under in Australia with our correspondent, our expert in the field, Lannon Ecott. Lannon, what's going on, man?
I'm doing all right, buddy. How you going?
It's going good. Listen, we want to talk about the big game, Rugby World Cup final, New Zealand, Australia, 80,000 fans in London, huge rivalry game. What was your takeaway from it all?
Definitely a huge rivalry. I've got to say, going into it, though, I never expected to win. I never expected Australia to win whatsoever. 12 months ago, it would have been crazy to even think that they're in the final. So I had no hopes, but I mean, they played a strong game. They fought hard, and the All Blacks are the All Blacks. I mean, they just dominated to start with. Then Australia came back, made it the game, but then, the All Blacks just walked away with it in the end. But it's what I expected. All right, I'm not disappointed whatsoever. It's just how it was, to be honest.
So you're not that upset, but was anybody else? Was this a big loss for Australia, or was everybody just kind of happy to be there?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like how the US is with soccer. There is definitely a following in Australia, but no one really cares until the World Cup comes around, So, I'm going to get insulted by a lot of Australians. They're probably going to call me a wanker on Twitter and stuff, but it's just how it is, really. No one cares.
So could it also be like American soccer in that maybe more people care about MLS than they do the national team, or is it kind of, even?
Well, I mean, rugby league, there's 2 different forms of rugby. There's rugby league and then there's rugby union. I know a lot more about rugby league, but I'd say rugby union is the equivalent of a bunch of NFL linebackers just running into each other for 80 minutes. That's essentially what it is. And it's also different because you're not guaranteed possession, all right? If a really good team can just dominate possession and hold on to the ball like pretty much the entire game, because they can forcibly take possession from you at any time. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched rugby where they're on the ground and then just a bunch of people dogpile onto the ground and then try and rip the ball out. It's kind of like in the NFL where you lose a fumble and it just turns into a massive gang tackle sort of thing.
Well, I haven't watched any rugby games, so one of the bigger stories this year was Jared Hayne joining the NFL as a former rugby player. And I know there's a scary moment for you guys when he got cut by the 49ers, but no worries, he's back on with the team. So reverse the scenario. Do you think there's any NFL players that could transition into rugby?
In rugby league, I think Rob Gronkowski would just boulder through a bunch of guys. But, it's very different because I'd say NFL is much more like you're active for 10 seconds. It's much more explosive and it's just like boom, boom, boom. Whereas rugby league and all those sorts of sports, it has a lot more to do with endurance. I'm not really sure. A bunch of wide receivers would probably make good fullbacks, but outside of that, I'm not really sure who would translate well because even the tackling's very different. Like, it's just a much different sport.
Well, Landon, you're a big NFL guy. You do YouTube videos predicting NFL games. What do you think about this season thus far?
Well, to you personally, I was listening last week and the week before, and I like how much you rag on Peyton Manning. That's all I can say. I appreciate that.
Did you watch the game this past weekend? Like, how crazy was that?
That was unexpected, to be honest. I have a show where I predict NFL games, and I picked the Packers to win, but I was a bit disappointed by that. But, I really don't want their offense to turn a corner because they have so much talent on that offense that if they get an offense going, watch out the rest of the league. I think the Patriots are probably the only team that can contend with them. So I'd be a bit worried about that.
I think you're right on that one. Landon, we're running late on time, so we really appreciate you coming on the show. Tell folks where they can find all your stuff.
On Twitter, I am at LannonCS. That is LANNANCS. And my YouTube channel is Laserbeam. All right, you just go to YouTube, type in Laserbeam. It's LAZARBEAM. So go check it out. I do lots of NFL stuff, like American sports stuff. So yeah, go take a look.
Awesome, Landon. Well, we appreciate you joining the show. We're going to catch up soon. Okay, buddy?
All right, sweet as. Cheers, mate. Goodbye.
Later. So there you go. That was our first Going Global segment.
We're international.
We're international.
Yeah, hey, man, that's awesome.
We got next one. He was good, right?
Yeah, he was great.
Absolutely.
That guy was great.
Told him we had to make it quick, bang, bang, and he just knocked it out of the park.
I like that observation about how rugby is an endurance game.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I don't know the game well enough, but that was cool.
It makes sense. Like, tight ends would probably be like Gronk would be somebody amazing.
I think Gronk could probably
Gronk could drop him into a position and he's going to be okay. Really, it's about the line in front of him.
Just an absolute freak.
What I've heard from people who played rugby and gridiron or American football is that they seem like there's more hits in rugby, and all the guys are usually beefier, but the hits are harder in the NFL. Like that's what they say, because you're wearing pads and you can hit so much harder. You can kind of throw your body at someone.
Right.
Whereas in rugby, you're not wearing pads, and so when you hit someone, you're going to get just as hurt, or maybe not as hurt, but you're going to get hurt too when you hit people.
Right. So the rugby players all seem to have like that kind of squattier frame.
I learned a term when I was in London. Hinch. They're hinch.
They're hinch?
Yeah. Okay.
What's a hinch? Is it like a gooch?
If you're a mafia guy, you got your henchman. You're kind of like the big kind of.
It's a slang for like the stout kind of guys like that. Yeah.
Luca Brasi.
But like maybe not as fast as guys in the NFL.
Yeah. But their endurance is going to be a lot better.
Their endurance is high. They've got that low center of gravity. You can't knock them down. All that
I would take Vince Wilfork. I just put him there and then just like Gronk on one side.
Haloti Ngata.
Oh, shit. Sue?
Dude,
Sue would be a dominant rugby player.
Well, you just step on your head, so it's a whole other issue.
All right, so Shannon, one of the last things we do on the show is we make picks.
Okay.
We're going to get you in on some picks.
Okay.
Do we want to go over the fantasy stuff this week? We got some exciting games.
No, fantasy. Yeah, let's go over that real quick.
So Jeff, Jeff is currently leading right now. He's 7-1. I'm also 7-1, but he won the heads up, so he's leading. Bruce, big news. Bruce actually knocked off Joel. So Joel had a 5-win streak going, and Bruce finally knocked him off.
That makes
so
me
they're
happy.
both at 5-3. Tyler, you lost the game by 2 points to our English buddy Steven. So 53-55. That is a The two lowest, or no, excuse me. Okay, Joel had 51, so you were in the bottom three. Your two teams.
You want to click on that real quick?
With a quick box score here. Let's check.
Let's see who's on my bench.
Let's see here. On your bench,
you had as many points on your bench.
Oh, you
Eli Manning.
You got Eli Manning, 52 points on your bench there, which was 1 point less than your entire team.
Yeah, and in case I didn't want to go with Eli Manning, I also had Derek Carr, who had 41.
43, yeah.
43,
Oh,
and I chose Ben Roethlisberger.
That
Gave me
was
7 points.
a mistake.
I had Roethlisberger on one of my rosters.
I think you got to
as
roll
well.
him and Antonio Brown, and then
Yeah,
Le'Veon
yeah.
Bell out
Yeah.
now. I don't know.
So big
what
games
that
this week.
turns into.
Big one actually. So you can redeem yourself by beating Jeff. It's you and Jeff. It's 7-1 versus 5-3. So that's going to be a
down,
fun
Jeff.
game to watch. I'm going after Brandon again. Who else here? We got some of the lower teams. Gus and
really shitty teams
Gus
in
and
our league.
Steven. Gus is 1-7 and Steven is 3-5. They're facing
Is
off.
Gus one? And I love Gus. Is Gus one of those guys who like leaves players on his roster during a bye week?
I don't. Has he done that? I don't know if I've seen him do
Because
that.
every league, and I'm not saying that this is that's
No.
no not
Well, this is
every,
not
league,
current.
every league has a guy who
Oh
does
no,
that.
you do, yeah.
Yeah,
And
every
you're
league has a guy who does
either
that.
that intentionally or you
Or you blow your first 3 games and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm not interested
Yeah. Just
anymore,
go ahead
and
and
I'm out.
exactly.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
All right, so let's get to some picks here. We got
Let's do it.
starting off here. We got LSU versus Alabama. It's the college game day, big matchup. Let's start with our friend Shannon down there. What do you think is going to happen with this one? LSU versus Alabama.
I'm gonna pick LSU in this game.
Really? All right.
Yep. Even though they're on the road, I'm picking LSU.
Nice. I'm going to go with Bama just because I think Jeff would fire me if I didn't pick Bama.
there we
So
go. Okay.
I'm going to go with Alabama. Cole, who you got?
LSU.
LSU. And Tyler, who's your pick?
Go Tigers. Fuck Alabama.
Wow, all right. I'm
Jack's
going to
Lone
be
Wolf
the
on
only
that
one there.
There you go.
All right, so now we got the Clippers versus the Golden State Warriors, 2 undefeated teams. The Golden State Warriors have been kicking ass this season.
Dude, Steph
a lot of
Curry.
people think we're ignoring them because they're a West Coast team, but they're,
No.
they're the returning champions. I mean, come on now.
And we're
Yeah.
going to get more into the NBA as the season progresses.
Were they playing up in Oakland?
I think.
Not that it really matters that much in the
I
NBA,
think so.
but
At least according to whoever lined this up,
We'll
I think
be at Oakland.
in Oakland. All right.
So they're unbeatable up there. you got to go Golden State.
All right. Golden State for Shannon. I'm going to go with Golden State as well. I think the returning champs are going to take it. So Tyler, who you got?
I'm going to go with Golden State.
Golden
I
State.
do like Doc Rivers a lot. He's my favorite person.
Oh,
Dude, he's the man.
And
great coach.
Cole, who you got? Golden State versus
Warriors.
The Warriors.
I'm picking Warriors.
All right, cool.
Yep.
All right, we're all going them.
unanimous on that one.
I wrote 4 different things for the same team. Awesome.
Golden State, Golden Warriors, and then GS.
Anyway,
Northern
all right,
California.
let's move on to all right, Green Bay Packers versus the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are undefeated. Green Bay's coming off a rough loss.
Man, I do not buy the Panthers. I'm sorry. I just don't. I'm sorry, Carolina. I like you guys. I just don't buy it. I'm saying rebound game for the Packers. I don't see Aaron Rodgers having the game that he did and then having another dub.
I totally agree with you. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to come back.
He's gonna be
angry.
pissed.
Yeah, that's-
Angry. I
yeah.
agree. And and the Panthers almost gave that game away to a not very good Colts team last night.
Yeah.
Took to overtime, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. So I think you got to go Green Bay.
all right, Cole, who you got? Green Bay or you got the Panthers?
I'm going with the Panthers.
Panthers, all
there we
right.
go.
You crazy. All right, now we got the Washington Capitals versus the New York Rangers. That's a big hockey match going on.
That's what I wrote down
you
there,
wrote
Jack.
Big hockey game.
I
So
wrote
it's
big
the
hockey
Rangers
game.
are 7-2. The Capitals are 8-2. So 2 strong teams, only 4 losses between them.
Man, I know nothing about hockey.
At least
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Just pretend you do. They love that. The audience loves when you pretend you know
Say
sports.
the name.
Rangers Capitals.
Say the
Rangers,
name,
Capitals.
Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid.
Say
There
he's
you
your
go.
favorite player.
Connor McDavid is my favorite player.
Awesome.
There we go.
Who you got, Shannon? You got-
I'll take the Rangers.
Rangers.
Just
all right.
the New York fans need something to cheer them up.
I'm going for the Capitals just to pick the
Washington also needs something to pick them up because they're Washington, but I'm going to go with the Rangers.
Rangers. And Cole, who you got?
Capitals.
Capitals. All right, joining me with that one. And last but not least, we have Texas Motor Speedway this weekend. We've got Jeff Gordon versus the field. So Jeff Gordon has been doing some work.
I mean, nobody's been turning the wheel better than Jeff Gordon.
Like he turned
it's
it right when
it's-
clearly that's how it's supposed to feel.
That was
Right
like
into the wall.
That was a Kirk Busch move. This is Jeff Gordon right here.
There you go.
Nobody
His
does
signature
this
move.
better than Jeff Gordon. I'm going Jeff.
You're going Jeff Gordon.
Well, so
All
here's
right.
the thing. Like, this is the crazy thing about NASCAR is like, since it's a cumulative point system for the whole season,
Yeah.
you could have like not a great outing,
Yeah.
or you could come in 4th but still like pad your lead. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
so I don't even know how to pick that. I pick a car will win.
I'm going to write down a car.
That's a solid pick.
Yeah, there we go.
Bold.
There we go.
Anytime someone gives you the option of one person or 30 people, you take the 30 people. So I'm going with the
people.
field on this one.
The field is the smart one.
Cole, you got Gordon or the field?
Gordon.
All right. All right, I did it again. Jeff Gordon, Field, Gordon, or Carr. All right, so those are our picks. We'll take a look. Last week we had Tyler. You and me came in at 1-4.
But I got the big one. I got the one we needed.
You got the New Zealand. You got the All Blacks. I got Notre Dame because Notre Dame is they're amazing. And then Brandon and Cole both went 3-2. Good job on you guys.
Yeah, good for y'all.
Cole's the only one who picked the Bulls to win versus the Cavs, and they totally won that game. So there you go. All right.
Well, those are our picks, and guys, that's going to be another episode of Sportsball. I want to. First, before we leave, we're going to start doing maybe like a moment is in time thing.
Oh,
it's like
cool.
Voicemail of the day. Because we have this guy that's been calling in. Because you can leave us a voicemail on the show, and we listen to him, and whatnot.
Sure.
He keeps calling every week saying the same thing. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just let him have his shot. So can we play the voicemail of the day?
Yeah, I'm a Philadelphia sports fan, and I just want to say, where the fuck do you get off, you fucking elitist Texas fucking asshole? Why don't you come the fuck up here and I'll punch your fucking teeth in?
Hey!
Thank you, Philadelphia.
Philly fans are the best.
Oh man, it's like the Philly fans find.
It's funny 'cause
they will find a comedic sports show and be angry about it. That's amazing.
Because I read that and I was like, oh, he's probably just joking around. That sounded like it had some real vitriol behind
There
it.
was
Like,
some venom there.
He was not happy.
Beat my ass if I'm in Philly.
God.
Taking the
Man.
slow train to Philly. And that was from like episode 1. We like casually mentioned that Philadelphia might be the shittiest sports city in the country. Casually.
Yeah.
What is in your water up there, Philly?
Yeah, I
My
got you.
God.
I got you. That's like, you know,
Have some more
it's a
Yingling.
reputation they have, but I can see how people would be sensitive about it too.
It's an American tradition.
Yeah.
So,
All right. On that note, we should get the hell out of here before I got to track this down.
Thank you so much, Shannon, for coming on the
Hey,
show. It was
thank-
awesome having you on. You're more than welcome to come back whenever,
Awesome.
even when the
Thank you
Royals
so
don't win the
much.
World
Yeah,
Series.
I will not wear my gear if I come back.
That's awesome.
All right. Thank you
thanks.
guys. Yeah.
And thanks everyone for watching another episode of Sports Ball. We will see you guys next week.
Bye, Internet.